Bonjour classe, bienvenue dans la classe de français 2, la première partie de notre vie scolaire, la vie scolaire. On commence. Alors, la vie scolaire, do you recognize any words in this first title? Scolaire is scholastic or school, and la vie is life. So we're talking about school life. Hopefully a lot of this vocabulary is review for you, but you might just learn something new this week as well. So let's begin by talking about the different kinds of schools. Ooh, I'm moving myself down here. Different kinds of schools that exist in France. For example, they have un collège. Un collège is a middle school, and that can be a little confusing to those of us who are thinking about the American way of school because collège looks like college, but it doesn't mean college or university. It means middle school. Un lycée. Un lycée is high school. That's what you guys are all doing right now. Vous êtes dans le lycée ici à Héritage. Une école privée, private school. Une école publique, public school. So those all kind of make sense. So you might be asking yourself now, well, what do they say when they're going away to college? The word for college en français is l'université, university. C'est normal. In French schools, the way they talk about each different grade is a little bit different from what we do. If we start over here with sixième, that is the French equivalent of 6th grade. So that kind of makes sense. But then instead of going 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, notice how they number each grade level. Sixième, 6th grade. Cinquième, quatrième, troisième, seconde, première, et terminale. Terminale is your senior year. So do you see how the numbers are going down? It's like a countdown to senior year. And then when you get to senior year, it's the end. Terminale. Like, that's the end of the line. When you are in terminale, that is the year that you take le bac. So most of your school life during senior year is actually harder than a lot of the previous years leading up to it because you are just scrambling to be prepared for this major test, the results of which will determine what kind of university you go to, what area of study you are prepared for. Anyone can take the bac, and anyone who does take the bac qualifies for university. But just like around here, some students are going for a more Ivy League type school or a specialty school, and they want to make sure they have really good high scores on the bac, the baccalaureate exam. So, similar to our SATs, but notice it's taken during senior year, terminale. Class, I have a song for you. Oh, I told you guys at the beginning of the year, woo, here I am. The beginning of the year that I have lots of songs that I like to sing, and I really believe that music and singing helps you to remember your vocabulary. It even can help with your pronunciation. This song is called C'est la rentrée demain, and la rentrée means the return to school. School is very important to French students. In fact, there is an expression, school is life and life is school. Most French students will focus only on school. They won't have an outside job or even necessarily do other activities that take away from their school time. That doesn't mean that kids don't like to play sports or do dance or other activities, but they tend to not spend nearly as much time as Americans do rushing from place to place because their focus is school. They're preparing for that big baccalaureate exam. So I'm going to teach you this song. I will sing it. And once you learn it, you can start to sing along with me. And in our class meeting, we'll spend a little more time with that. The song, C'est la rentrée demain. Tomorrow is the first day of school. C'est la rentrée demain. Je vais faire des achats pour les cours qui commencent bientôt. Il me faut un classeur, des crayons et une gomme, un cartable, un cahier, des stylos. À 8 heures, c'est les maths. À 9 heures, l'anglais. À 10 heures, la biologie. À 11 heures, l'orthographe. À 2 heures, le français. puis l'histoire et la technologie. C'est la rentrée demain, je vais faire des achats pour les cours qui commencent bientôt. Il me faut quelques livres, du papier et une trousse, un dictionnaire pour le cours d'espagnol. Il y a aussi la géographie, la physique et le latin. Le déjeuner, c'est toujours à midi, le mardi à 3 heures, le dessin. C'est la rentrée demain, je vais faire des achats pour les cours qui commencent bientôt. Il me faut un classeur, des crayons et une gomme, un cartable, un cahier, des stylos. Et voilà! Class, in this song are so many excellent vocabulary words. Did you recognize some of them? Take some time, and I have placed this document in Google Classroom, so you can go through the document and annotate it, and underline the words that you understand, and circle the ones that you don't. And when we meet again in class, we'll go over what all of this means, but see how much of it you can figure out on your own. I bet you'll surprise yourself. So, our vocabulary for this week, if you haven't already guessed, is all about les études, studies, et les matières, the different school subjects. If you go to your textbook on page 5, that's where you will find the list of the different kinds of schools and the different matières, the different school subjects that we're going to learn. For example, l'histoire, la géographie, l'économie, la philosophie, les maths ou les mathématiques, la science, les sciences. Gotta move myself over. Ooh. Ah, la chimie, la biologie. That one was in the song, do you remember? Et la classe de informatique ou technologie. But wait, there's more. Some more classes. I'll move down here so you can see them all. Le français, l'anglais, l'espagnol, l'allemand, la musique. And if la musique is band for you, it's l'orchestre. And if la musique is choir, it's la chorale. And if it's an instrument, some of you are maybe taking piano, la piano, or some of you might be taking guitar, la guitare. Voilà. Les arts, ou les arts plastiques, et l'éducation physique, ou le sport. So that covers the basics of the main classes that one would take here at our school or at school in France. They study a lot of the same things. One thing that might be different, I'll go back to the previous page, is this one, la philosophie. Really interesting class, philosophy. Talks about what is the meaning of life? Why are we here? Ethical questions like should one behave in a certain way or not? And what does it all matter? It's a really interesting kind of deep class. I believe at Heritage a couple years ago we had a philosophy club, but we've never had the class. You might have a chance to take a course like that at the university, but in France it's par for the course because think of Voltaire, Montesquieu, and all the famous French folks from the Age of Enlightenment. They love their philosophy in France, and so they make sure to teach it in their schools. Bon. One of the vocabulary words from the song is this guy right here, incartable. So this isn't one that you're going to find on page 5 in your book, but incartable is this kind of squared off briefcase backpack thing that is a traditional style of book bag for French children. Seems a little strange here because we're used to the more, the slouchy backpack, the typical backpack that we see around school. But this little squared off guy with the little handle, that is the kind of backpack that most French elementary school students use. And then when they get older, they might switch. You can see this kid right here. in the picture has a rolling backpack. So those more modern backpacks are becoming more popular as well. And these are also a few other words from the song. They're not in your textbook on page 5, but I'm going to leave it up to you to see how much you remember from French 1. Can you name what these different articles are? I bet you can get most of them. Super bien. Oh, here's another page with un cartable. Excellent. All right, last thing for today is this assignment, which you will find in Google Classroom. Mon emploi de temps is my schedule. How do I spend my time? Mon emploi de temps. Dans quelle heure est-ce que tu as quel cours et quels matériaux est-ce qu'il faut pour cette cours? So under heure, that's where you would put what class period it is. Under cours, that is what the class is. Make sure you're listing everything in French. Under matériaux, what different materials do you need for this class? List at least 2 for each class. And you're probably going to have some repeats because, I mean, every class requires a pencil. But some classes you need other things like a book or a special binder or folder, pencil and eraser versus pen. So try to mix it up. Use as many of those vocabulary words from the song as you can. Now, if some of this is confusing, don't worry about it for now. You can work ahead if you choose, or you can wait till we have our next class meeting and all will become clear. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up with this video so that you can work on it at your own pace. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe per usual, and I will see you next time. There we go. Au revoir. À bientôt et au revoir.